What's up, sales friends and leaders out there in the field? It is the third Thursday of the month, which means it's time for another All-Star Sales Call. So the first thing we're going to start off here with the All-Star Sales Call, like we do, she also tied, so it's kind of, we'll give it to both. Tied for second with Tyler Eberhardt out of Colorado Springs with also 7 net sales. For sales volume, we have the same 3 leaders. Number 1 was Rachel. Number 2 is Jacob Frankie. And number 3 is Tyler Eberhardt. So you guys crushed it both in net sales and you're selling those houses for more profit at higher price points and earning great volume. So great job. One thing that we were finishing up here this week, we've been here in Chicago all week long with our newest MENSA 5 and LDP 5 groups. For those of you that have kind of picked up the slack while these guys are here training, thank you for all that you're doing to helping our team get better. I would love to tell you that the guys here are exceptional. They're crushing it. They're learning a ton of stuff. And I hope many, many, many more of you guys in the future try to be a part of these programs. They're so helpful, inspiring you and teaching you, and it helps you grow in such a new way. And so since we're here, I wanted to share just some ideas, just give you a small glimpse of some of the stuff we've talked about here in MENSA. And one of those things that we've been talking about here a lot yesterday, or at least my very favorite session, is that of role playing. Sometimes as sales associates, role playing is a scary thing, but it helps us. What you practice, you get good at. One of the quotes that I love so much is from Vince Lombardi. He's a Hall of Fame legend in football, but he says, practice doesn't make perfect, but perfect practice makes perfect. And that's what role play is. So we have to make sure that we role play and practice over and over again in really good ways. So a couple keys for you guys when you're role playing out in the field, there's a couple things I just want to share with you so that you can get the most out of your role play time. The first thing is break it down into small chunks. When you're learning new ideas, trying to tackle the whole thing at once is too much to learn. So just start with some piece small. If there's a part of your commitment that's not good, break it down to a small section. If there's a part of your welcome you're not good at, break it down into a small section. If you struggle or not as good at like feature, benefit, emotion stuff, one, you can watch good videos from Keith McKinney and Cancun and other things on New Home Connect. The other piece is just break it down. So if you have a hard time role playing through feature, benefit, and emotion, just go find a lot of features and practice role playing, just showing features, and then add the benefit, and then add the emotion. Start stacking these things on. But if you do it in small chunks, it's easier for your brain to wrap around that. It. So that's tip number 1 for role play. The second tip I would tell you in role play, a ton of houses, there's a bunch of you out there that do this. They role play all the time. There's been a lot of conversations on New Home Connect and the peer learning section here in the last few weeks about how do I get better at role play? How do I do this? The trick is just all the time. If you break it down in small chunks, which is step 1, then just repeat those things over and over and over and over and over again. Because again, what you practice, you get good at. So if you have a hard time at feature, benefit, emotion, ask your MENSA member to come role play just feature, benefit, emotion, and then do it 5 times in a row, 10 times in a row. Start your day with it. When you go through the house in the morning and you're turning on lights and you're turning on music and you're lighting candles and making things smell good in all of those rooms, practice that. Practice feature, benefit, emotion. Practice it over and over and over again. Sometimes when you work with some of these great leaders that you have in your fields, like some of your directors or your VPs, and when these guys come in, then you ask them for help and they spout these awesome answers and they can role play really well. You know how many times they've done that? I've worked with a lot of these VPs really closely. You know how many hours of their life they've said the same thing over and over and over and over and over again? A ton. So the more experience you get, the better you get. So just practice it on repeat all the time. So when you role play, when these guys come back from MENSA and LDP, make them come to your model. Say, help me with this, break it down into small chunks, and then just practice a ton. So use these guys, because this week when we had MENSA here, we actually taught them all of these ideas so they can go back and help you go through this process. And if you please apply for MENSA in the future, when this happens, you can come up here to Chicago, hang out with us, get to have a fun time, but also learn these things so you can help other team members get better. So those are kind of my tips for this month. As we're starting off into January, it is the best time to dive into New Home Connect videos, find where your weak spots are and what you're not great at, and then practice them in small chunks and on repeat constantly in your car, in the bathroom, in the shower, in a bedroom, when you're turning on lights, when you're closing real people, when you have people who are just looking at fake things and they're saying, oh, I just need decorating tips. Practice, 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 practice. And if you do those things well, you'll get really good. So those are my tips to help you start to crush this new year. Before we move on, I want to bring Chris Laskowski in. He has some pretty fun and exciting announcements to share with us. So Chris, come on in here real quick.
Let's do it. All-Star Sales Call. Super excited to be on this edition. Aaron Wagner, LDP MENSA, together in Chicago for a single event. How was that? I gotta ask you.
Dude.
Tell me a little more before I have a huge announcement, but the excitement in the corporate office, it's astronomical. We had 21 individuals fly around the country.
Yeah, we had over 20 people show up. The cool part is these guys are studs. I mean, I'm wearing my GOAT shirt.
That's right.
The cool part about this group is I'm not the only person in this shirt today. So there's some really hard-working people that have really worked hard.
Right on.
It's a cool
right
group,
now.
man.
And
cool group.
Just out of curiosity, if I am interested in leadership development program offered by New Home Star, when is the next time that I have an opportunity to apply for the program?
Good question.
What's the best way of going about that? And just tell us a little more about the logistics behind it.
Yes. So right now the classes are split up. There's 4 classes.
Mm-hmm.
They're 10 weeks long, and the program takes 11 months to finish for LDP.
Okay.
And when that happens, we start them in this winter, which is right now.
Mm-hmm.
So the next time we'll start will be summer. So June, July is when the next class will fire up again.
So 2 opportunities every single year to join the Leadership Development Program, and you know what that means. That means an accelerated path to management level positions here at New Home Star. Super excited about this training, and as we wrap up, we have a huge announcement, and some of you already may have had a meeting with your directors and managers about an exciting contest happening this month. January, Clash of Titans, Tesla 2.0. So what we're doing this time around is
I can't wait for this.
We're putting together videos from every single division about the top 3 objections that you're facing in your local market. It's so important to have a unique perspective whenever we tackle any training, whenever we tackle any strategies, and that's what these videos are all about. Getting together as a group, as your team, and putting together a role play and tip section for the top 3 sections. So as this is rolled out with your directors, be sure to have great role plays, be sure to have great tips, and the 3 things that we're looking for at the end of this. So this is part 1 of 3 parts. Part 2 and 3 are coming in February, and ultimately one person will take away a 6-month lease to a Tesla. So this month, all you need to do as a team is submit a video submission with 3 objections, and we're looking for first, the content. 50% of it will be judged on how well you're able to overcome the objections. 40%, how well are you working as a team? What's the team spirit? How much involvement are you getting from that team? And then lastly, and 10%, we've got the actual quality of the video. So we're not looking for polished, perfect videos with the best cameras. We're looking for quality content and teamwork in this contest. So January 31st, that's the deadline. We're going to be picking 5 divisions to be selected, and 1 champion will be awarded from each of these divisions, and more details on that. But we're looking forward to seeing the type of training videos that come out.
That's sweet. I can't wait.
Awesome.
It's going to be awesome.
I think that's a wrap, Aaron. Thank you, guys. We'll see you next month.